Consider this, a program of issues and information behind today's news. Once again, from the campus of the University of Nebraska at Omaha, here is your host, Kathy Wyatt.
In need of legal assistance, but don't think you can afford it? Help may be just a phone call away. Hi everyone, I'm Kathy Wyatt. Welcome to this week's edition of Consider This. Our topic, Legal Aid of Nebraska. Here to join us to talk more about it are Dave Pantos. Dave is the program's executive director. Stephen Tuig, a private practice attorney from Dodge County. And Willie Watson, a former client who lives right here in Omaha. Welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Having us.
You bet. Dave, we're going to start off with you. Tell us, what is Legal Aid of Nebraska?
Kathy, Legal Aid of Nebraska is a statewide nonprofit law firm that helps low-income and elderly people with their legal problems in civil legal matters. And those include evictions, bankruptcies, divorces, child custody, unemployment, public benefits like Social Security and Medicaid, a wide range of legal problems that low-income people are facing that are keeping them from getting back into a situation of being self-sufficient. We help them, we go into court, we give advice, we write legal briefs, we do all sorts of work to help that individual or that family resolve a legal problem or problems that are getting in the way of them taking care of themselves one way or another.
And Dave, tell us, what is Legal Aid of Nebraska's definition of low income?
Well, these guidelines are set by the federal government. Every year the federal government says what the poverty level is, and we help folks that are at 125% of the poverty level or less. Now we make some exceptions. We have an elder access line that provides free advice and brief service to anyone over the age of 60. Now Warren Buffett's never called us, but he could and we would help him. So there's no income limit for folks who are over 60. For folks who are not, it's that 125% of the poverty level. So for example, for an individual, that might be about $13,000 a year. For a family of four, that's about $27,000 a year.
Okay, and I want to go back to something you said, that regardless of your income, if you are over the age of 60, someone can call to inquire about your services. What types of questions are you getting generally, or concerns from that population 60 and over?
Wow, well, there are some particular concerns that have to do with housing. Someone who has a bad debt, they're being aggressively pursued by a creditor and their home is at risk, and we will help that individual with that bad debt and find out what their legal options are to maybe take care of that bad debt so they don't have to lose their home, lose their homestead even. That's a big issue. Wills, end-of-life issues. We also see issues relating to elder abuse, and we give advice on those matters. And then there's Medicaid, medical insurance, and some other income issues, eligibility for public benefits, that kind of thing. So it's a wide range of legal issues that are particular to elder Nebraskans. And I think the thing to keep in mind and why this is so important is the proportion of elderly people in Nebraska is growing. There are more and more elderly people, especially in rural Nebraska, and we provide services to elderly people throughout the state, not just in Omaha, but throughout the state. And they can access that through our toll-free hotline, which I know you're going to show the viewers soon.
Absolutely. And you talked about this being a statewide program. Very, very important. In fact, we have a graphic of a map showing all the locations that you have across the state. If you could talk to us about those specific areas.
Thanks, Kathy. Now, while we do encourage folks who are new callers to our services to call our toll-free numbers, we do have offices conveniently located throughout the state. We're as far west as Scottsbluff, we're in North Platte, we're in Grand Island, we're up in Norfolk, we're in Lincoln, Omaha, and Bancroft. So we really do try to cover most of the state geographically. And for areas that we're not specifically located in, we contract with private attorneys who agree to take cases at a low cost basis that we pay for. The client never has to pay. but we pay for it out of our funding. And those attorneys, again, are taking these cases at reduced cost, probably 1/2 to 1/3 of the normal hourly rate they would charge, and they will take cases for us. So we have private attorneys in Dodge County, but also as far away as Cherry County and in other parts of the state where our offices are not located.
Okay, very good. And Dave, how many clients are you serving at this time across the state of Nebraska?
Wow, that's it's going to be a bigger number than you expect, because we are seeing, I think, every day. I'll just start with this. Every day we get about anywhere between 60 and 80 folks who call us through any of our access lines, Elder, the regular one, the Native American hotline, our farm ranch hotline, with all sorts of legal problems. So at any given time, we'll have thousands of open cases statewide, thousands. And I think you've got this on a graphic, but last year we closed 10,800 cases. And that's ranging from advice to an individual caller to a full-on litigation trial involving numerous medical and other experts. We do the whole thing. And I think that's part of the great thing about legal aid is our staff. These are highly trained individuals who are experts in both the area of law they practice, but just in poverty law generally. And they know the best way to get the problem solved, because in a sense what we are is problem solvers. Someone comes to us like Willie or any number of the clients that Steve has helped or anyone else. They don't say to us, well, what I need to do is to file this Chapter 13 and have a 341 hearing, da-da-da-da-da-da. They don't give us the strategy. They say, this is my problem. I have these creditors calling me day and night, and they won't leave me alone, and I don't know what's going on. Can you help me? And then we decide, okay, here's the problem that's being presented to me as the attorney. Here's the solution. File in court, call the creditors, send them a letter, whatever, call an agency, let the landlord know that they're being abusive, or litigate and go into court and win the case. There's all these different solutions that are out there, so that's what we are problem solvers.
And how many problem solvers like Stephen do you have across the state of Nebraska? How many private practice attorneys do you actually have working in cooperation with legal aid?
I think if you look at the whole roster, there are about 150. Now, there are very few who have done as many cases as Stephen. I mean, he's one of our gold medal winners in terms of private attorney involvement. But we have a lot of other attorneys who've taken on numerous cases, so there are about 150, and again, they are spread out throughout the state. Within the firm, we have almost 40 attorneys in those different offices that we talked about earlier who directly handle cases in the courts that are nearby those offices. And we also have paralegals and other great support staff who are working day in and day out on those cases.